Hey, what is going on guys, Vexen here, bringing a new series on my channel. So this is basically me showing you guys how I record my videos and the complete setup. So in this episode I'll be showing you what software I use in order to record my footage on my desktop, like Photoshop and Vegas. And then I'll also be showing you what software I use to record games like Rainbow Six and the stuff I do on my second channel. So that's pretty much it. Remember, if you enjoy, please leave a like or even subscribe. All your support is really appreciated. Any problems you have, let me know down below in the comments. I try to get back to all of you and help you with your problems. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get on with the video. Okay, so this is OBS or OBS Studio. I'm sure you've heard of it before. A lot of YouTubers use it just because it's such a great piece of software. It performs well and it's pretty straightforward to set up, as well as a lot of other options if you do have any problems or have, very specific needs with how you want to record your footage. But today I'll be showing you how I do it. So the first thing you want to do, because your screen will just be blank when you open up OBS, is create a new scene. So you just want to click the plus icon over in the bottom left corner here. And you can name your scene whatever you want, and then click OK. And then it'll still be blank. You still won't see anything in this preview window here. So what you need to do is click a source. So for me, I click the plus again, and you click display capture. So this just displays basically everything that's going through your HDMI or video cable, and it'll just record any footage, your desktop, any programs that you open. So this is great for me when I'm switching from program to program. So just click that, and then obviously you'll see a preview, but it might not be quite right. It might be blurry, or you won't actually see anything yet. So we need to set up the settings properly. So what I'm going to do is click over here on the settings, and this is going to open up. And what you're going to see first is the general tab, and this is just some basic settings. You don't need to change any of these, just leave it all, ignore it. And we're going to head straight over to the video tab. So here is where you set your resolution. So the base or canvas resolution for me is 2560 by 1440, which is the resolution of my monitor. So this is whatever your monitor is. So I definitely recommend just doing this at the same resolution as your monitor. It just keeps everything simple. Output or scale resolution, leave this at the exact same. And the downscale filter doesn't actually make much of a difference because we're not upscaling or downscaling anything. Now the frame rate, for me, this is 60 FPS, but you may have some performance issues recording at 60 FPS, especially at 1440p or 4K. So if you do have problems with your computer, you may want to lower this down to 30 FPS. Just make sure you never go below 30 or go anything other than 30 or 60, because if you do, it doesn't quite look right. It doesn't give you the smooth look if you're below 30, and it's just not a standard frame rate to record at. So 30 or 60, depending on your performance. So once you've changed all that and set all that up, you just hit apply. And we'll head over to the audio tab. So over here, there's two things you need to change: your desktop audio device and your microphone. So the desktop audio device basically means whatever you're hearing through this device is what OBS is going to record as your desktop audio. So whatever headset you're using to hear your game, select this and it'll play any audio from your game. Or for me, I use the headset I'm using for Vegas, and then it'll record any audio from Vegas. Now for the mic or auxiliary audio device, this is your microphone. So for me, this is voice meter output, just because I run my microphone through a program called voice meter. But for you, this is going to be different. So you can just select your actual microphone. So once you've done that, you just hit apply. And now we're going to head over to the output tab. So here on the output tab, by default, here you'll see simple at the very top. And this is what you'll be looking at. But this doesn't give us quite as enough options. So we want to go up here and make sure this is on advanced. And then we'll need to head over to the recording tab. So this is the main bulk of your options. This is what's going to make the biggest difference to the quality of your recordings. So on the type, just leave this at standard, and the recording path, obviously you can just save this wherever you want. It's really up to you. But I record mine on a separate drive that my software or game isn't running on, because if you record to the same hard drive as your game or software, it can cause issues like lagging and stuttering within the game and the recording, and it'll just cause delays if you're streaming or something like that. So I definitely recommend having a second hard drive, and everything will just run a bit smoother. Now the recording format, make sure this is on MP4. This is what YouTube supports. This is what you're going to be rendering in Vegas, in Premiere. So I'll leave a link to my render settings videos in the description, and I'll also be covering this in a future tutorial in this series. So make sure recording format's on MP4. So now for the audio track, you just want to leave that at 1, because we've only set up one audio recording track, so there's no problems there, no difficulties. So you don't need to change that whatsoever. Now the encoder, this is the big difference. This is what's going to make the difference for performance in your games and your recordings, and this is going to vary from person to person. So there's a really important setting that you need to make sure you get right. So for me, I use NVIDIA, which basically means it uses my NVIDIA GPU processor in order to improve the performance of the recordings and have less of an impact on my game's frame rate. Now, if you don't have a graphics card or you don't have an NVIDIA card, you're not going to see that, and yours will automatically be at X264, which means it just uses your CPU. But what it'll do, it can cause lag, and you'll often struggle to record higher than 1080p, and you won't be able to do 60 FPS, you'll probably be stuck at 30. So if you can, use NVENC for an NVIDIA card, or even OpenGL for an AMD card. Because if you don't, and you are using X264 and you don't have a great processor, you'll definitely run into some problems with performance. Now the next section is this grey box down the bottom here. So this is what really is going to make the difference with your recording quality. So we want to make sure this is on constant bitrate, because that's what we're going to be rendering at in Premiere, and that's what YouTube supports, and it just runs a lot nicer. So leave that. And now the bitrate. Again, this will depend on what resolution and frame rate you're recording at. Now I'll leave a link to a website that YouTube has made or Google has made, and it tells you what bitrate to use for what resolution and frame rate on YouTube. So for 1440p and 60 FPS, YouTube recommends a bitrate of 24,000. So what I do is I record at 30, just leave a bit of headroom, and this stops you getting too many artifacts when you're basically re-rendering in Premiere or Vegas. So just leave a bit of headroom. So for 1080p 60 FPS, YouTube recommends 12. So you want to make sure that's a bit higher, so maybe 15, 16. And basically just check whatever resolution, whatever frame rate you've got with the website below, and just leave a bit of headroom of maybe 5 or 10,000 megabits. Now remember, if you can't keep up with the frame rate and the bit rate of your recordings, then you may need to lower them. So if you're getting sub 60 FPS or sub 30 FPS even, you're not getting what you want, you'll need to lower that bit rate. And if you're going to lower the bit rate, you'll then need to lower your resolution and frame rate. So that just requires a bit of tweaking and a bit of mucking around just to get it right, and make sure you've got the right settings for you and your setup. Now the rest of these settings, we can leave this all at default. Make sure 2-pass encoding is disabled, because again, that'll have a large hit on performance, but it'll have very minimal visual improvement. And that's pretty much it for all these settings. So now you can just click apply and then click OK, and that'll just close the settings. And that's pretty much it, OBS setup. So you should see down here your microphone bar going, and your desktop audio if you're playing any games or any music, that'll be going there too. So you want to start recording, just click start, and then I'll turn stop recording, and that'll save the file to wherever you picked earlier. And that's pretty much it. But this is just what I use for recording programs, and my desktop for recording my games. I use a different piece of software, which I'm going to show you how to use now. Okay, so here we are in our game. Now in order to open up NVIDIA Share, what you need to do is press Alt and Z, and that'll open up this overlay. So the first thing you want to do is want to turn off any recordings. So I'll just turn this off quickly. And then what we'll be able to do is go over to our settings. So we want to go down and click on recordings. Now this is where you're going to be saving your footage to. So for me, this is in a separate hard drive in a recording folder called Shadowed Play. So it's just like OBS, but you can obviously save this wherever you want. It's really up to you. I just definitely recommend saving to a separate hard drive that your game or your software isn't running on. It'll just put less stress on your hard drive and mean better performance, and you don't have any problems with corrupted footage or waiting for the footage to be saved. It just makes everything a lot cleaner and a lot simpler. So just save that wherever you want, and different hard drive is preferred. So now we can go back and click done, and that's what we need to do in the settings. So now we're going to go over to our recording and then click customize. And this is where we can change our bitrate and frame rate and resolution. So for me, I record at 1440p and 60 FPS, and the bitrate is 50 megabits per second, where in OBS it was only 30, because this software just runs so smoothly because it's so much more optimized for NVIDIA graphics cards, and it's made by NVIDIA. So I can record at a higher bitrate. So keep that in mind. Whatever you record at in OBS, you should be able to do a higher bitrate in GeForce Experience or NVIDIA Share. So that I leave at the max, which is 50, 1440p, 60 FPS. And as I said earlier, you can lower the bitrate or frame rate if you're having any performance issues. So you can just leave that and now click save. But the main reason I use NVIDIA Share, the biggest selling point of this software, is instant replay. And what this is you can pick an amount to be constantly recording, so the last 5 or 10 minutes. And whenever you want, you can click save, and it'll just save the last 5 minutes of everything you've done in the game. So if I hit a great clip, or there's some funny moment I want to record, or something cool happens with my friends, I just have a really good round, I can come up here, and providing I've already had that turned on, I can click save, and that'll just save the last 5 or 10 minutes, or however much I've set it to. So I'm just going to turn this off for a second, and then we can go over to customize, and you can see my length is at 5, and all of these settings will carry over from the recording settings. So if you want to pick whatever amount you want, I do 5 because that's the perfect amount for one round in a match, or just, you know, enough time to capture a certain moment. If you want to leave it just because you're trying to record maybe sniping clips, you can leave that at like 30 seconds or a minute. Or if you want to record a whole game, you can leave that at maybe 10, 15, 20. It's really up to you, and it really depends on your needs. So for me, 5 minutes is perfect. I can leave that, I click save, and then I turn this on, and as long as this has been turned on, at any point in time I can be playing the game, and then I can come back and click save, and it will save the last 5 minutes. So it's a really great piece of software, really great feature. That is what I use, because for me, I don't always record. I often don't record with my microphone on or playing with mates. I just something happens to happen at any random time, and then I can record it and I can save it and use it in a video. Another thing to keep in mind is this microphone. Make sure you've got your microphone set to always on or to off if you're recording in a separate bit of software. Obviously, if you're using the replay and you want to capture funny moments like I do, I have to have that at always on. And that's pretty much it. So that is the settings for NVIDIA Share. Pretty straightforward setup. Runs really great on video cards. Obviously can't use it on certain graphics cards, and you can't use it on AMD or Intel. But if you can use it, really great piece of software. That's how you set it up. And that's pretty much the video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helps you. Remember, if it did, please leave a like or a comment down below. Let me know if you want to see future videos like this. I'm thinking of doing how I record my audio, how I stream, how I edit a usual funny moments video, how I edit an editing video, and just, you know, giving you guys all that kind of stuff, how I make my thumbnails, and giving you guys a basically complete tutorial of how I do everything on my channel. So just let me know if you like the idea of that. Let me know if you want to see more of these, and maybe even leave a like or subscribe. That'd be really appreciated. So see you in the next one. Bye.